Here's how my brain works. I get hit with a great idea. I get hit with this inspiration and now I'm fired up about it. I'm excited. So I go and I tell my wife about it, and I go and I tell my friends about it, and maybe even my kids. And now all this inspiration in me is beginning to grow as this idea begins to come to life. But as I do this, there's this other thing growing in the background. It's this dark cloud of doubt and fear. And it says, are you going to be able to do this? What if this doesn't work? What if you crash and burn? What if you fail? What if you embarrass yourself? And no matter what I do, this dark cloud grows and grows and grows. So I'm there with this inspiration and this doubt, and I'm going back and forth and back and forth, and I'm doing affirmations, and I'm doing my self-talk, and I'm taking long walks to try to clear my head. But nothing I do is getting rid of this dark cloud. And there it is, staring at me, scolding me, berating me, laughing at me. What's really strange about this part of me is it's always so sure, it's always 100% confident that I will fail and it will not work. I call this side of you your inner gremlin. It's that part of you that wants to play small, that keeps you in your head, that has doubts and fears around anything new, because it's afraid of you doing anything new and failing, and it's terrified of you being humiliated. But we know that all great things require us to do something new and to risk looking stupid. There's a great quote from Mike Tyson in an interview where he says he doesn't do anything unless he risks humiliation.
If I can't be humiliated, if I fail, I don't want to do it. Because only by doing that, I would rise to my highest potential.
I love this idea because if you're willing to accept and make peace with being embarrassed, there is literally nothing that can stop you. Everything then keeps you going forward, and you're willing to embrace that embarrassment that stops most people from creating anything of value. I've discovered the more I've tried to ignore that inner gremlin or do self-talk, affirmations, personal development exercises, and just hope that those voices go away, the less it's really worked. It's like trying to tell my 2-year-old son to please not jump on my crotch when he's getting on the couch. It's a good idea in practice, but I need a better plan. So here's a 2-part plan that I came up with to confront this inner gremlin and create some peace of mind around anything that I'm working on. So the first part of attacking this is to write down all of your challenges, all of your insecurities, all of your doubts. Write them all down on paper. And just doing that in and of itself is enough to create some peace of mind because you've got it out of your head and now you're actually looking at it. And then from there, write down how you would answer each of those, how you're going to respond to them. And just giving a rebuttal for each of those challenges will help too. But then take it one step farther. For each of them, write down the worst case scenario. Take it to the extreme. Let your brain just go there. Let's say you have fears around starting a business and you're wondering, well, if I do this and it fails and then it doesn't work out and then my friends and family find out about it, that would be awful. Go even farther. Yeah, well, is that it? Is that the best I can come up with? What if I do that and then my friends and family start tagging their friends and family on Facebook, and then they tag their friends and family. And now there's like 20, 30, 40,000 people that have known I've failed and they're all publicly laughing at me. Then what? The final part of this is to write down how you would respond to that worst case scenario. So by going to the far end of that and creating a strategy for how you would handle it, you give your mind a plan. You give your brain the ability to know there's at least some strategy in place for if you fail and crash and burn that much. And that gives your brain ease and allows it to stop worrying so much. The second part of this plan is to play devil's advocate with your inner gremlin. Instead of having to answer their questions, now you're going to question them right back. You're going to doubt the doubter. So if they ask you a question about, well, how do you know this is going to work? You could respond with immediately, how are you so sure it won't work? And the more you do that, the more now you start to create uncertainty around your uncertainty. And one of my favorite questions to ask is that based on real world feedback or is that in my imagination? And most of the time you'll realize it's all in your head. It's not based on any actual feedback you're getting from other people. It's just this imagined scenario playing out that's just total fiction. And you can even take it farther by asking, so what? So what if this doesn't work? So what? Well, then you're not gonna make any money with this. So what? Then you have to go back to the job you hate. So what? Well, then you're not gonna be happy at the job. So what? Well, then you're gonna have to find other ways to be happy. Exactly, so what? And at the end of all of this, you're left with a middle ground. You might not be at that 10 out of 10 like when you first got started and you're all fired up and it's all inspiration, but you're not a 0 out of 10 either, questioning and unable to do anything. You're at a nice 4 or 5 out of 10. You still have doubts, you still have fears, you still have insecurities about it not working, but that's not enough to take you out. 4 or a 5 out of 10 is plenty. Just go. And you'll start to develop conviction from this, because instead of waiting for yourself to get up to level 8, 9, or 10 with your confidence, you're going at a 4 and a 5 and trusting that you'll develop it along the way. And you're actually welcoming the failure and the mistakes because you've already put your mind there and accepted it could very well happen. You already have a plan for how you respond to it. So you almost welcome that failure just as much. By welcoming all that adversity, ironically, you won't find it as much. And it's liberating to you, and it lets you go kick that much more ass in your life. So I hope you like that strategy for taming your inner gremlin. Be sure to click the like button if you enjoyed this and subscribe as well. A lot more videos are coming here soon. Thank you so much. Have a good one. Take care.